Hi, everybody. My name is Rob Abel of the IMS Global Learning Consortium, and welcome to our Learning Impact on Demand series. We're here to explore the topic of effective digital teaching and learning and what we're experiencing right now in light of the accelerated movement to online, virtual, and distance education in the age of COVID-19 and beyond, hearing from leading IMS members, the smartest people on the planet when it comes to ed tech. Today, we have a 10-minute leadership interview on this topic. And we are very pleased to have with us Robert Iskander, who is the chairman and CEO at Global Grid for Learning, otherwise known as GG4L, which is a public benefit corporation and a leading provider of application integration services and infrastructure to the education sector. Welcome, Robert.
Thank you very much, Rob. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's great to have you. So what we'd like to hone in on here for the audience is really just your insights in terms of this unprecedented acceleration of digital learning, some being done well, some perhaps not so well, all different range of spectrum in between there. And the impact of COVID-19 will certainly be with us for some time. Nobody can predict exactly how long it will be with us and at what level. And so get your ideas on how things might be different going forward as well. So let's start off with kind of right now. What have we learned so far in dealing with this really unprecedented scale of digital learning? And what do you see as happening with the learnings, the highest priorities right now? Really anything you'd like to comment on?
Yeah, thank you, Rob. So we're seeing a lot of different examples of good digital learning and very, very bad digital learning and everything in between. The reality is that the majority of the schools were surprised by being put on the spot, having to deliver this all of a sudden without any preparation, without readiness. However, they've got to keep the kids engaged. They've got to keep schools to continue business as usual. And obviously the big thing is the unknown. They just don't know when things will come back to normal. So what I've seen in terms of best practices are the teachers that blend online learning through Zoom and other types of synchronous learning tools with the stuff that they're asking the kids to do as project-based learning off the screen. It's not too good to do too much screen time with the children, depending on their age, of course, right? And so we have to look at it. Elementary schools are different than high schools, two different extremes in terms of learning. And however, the consensus is that the parents are struggling with their kids now, trying to put on the teacher's hat, and they're finally appreciating the role of a teacher, which is great. Teachers love that, and I'm hearing that in social media quite loud. But the reality is nobody's really prepared. And I don't think what's going on today is what I would call effective online digital learning. Some schools are better than others, depending on the district's readiness, but there's a huge equity issue, as we all know, and not all the kids have the same infrastructure at home in terms of a device or internet connectivity. That's number one. Not all the teachers have the skill set to teach online and understand how to blend their learning digitally online with what they used to do full-time in the classroom. And also the students are very confused about what is it that it really is they must do versus nice to do versus maybe I don't have to do it. So engaging the kids in something where they're accountable is still a question mark. So I don't think what we've seen so far, there's a great example I could share with you. It's like, wow, this is amazing. I wish I could say there is something, but there isn't any.
Right. How would you rate the sort of readiness in terms of the video integration? From scale of 1 to 10, or pick your favorite scale. I mean, as you said, it's been an unprecedented sort of surprise, and videos become so important so suddenly. Most schools have some sort of video plan or something, but what are you seeing out there in terms of a priority around video and how ready they are?
I mean, we all heard about the Zoom and the Zoom bombing, what happened with that, where it's free, but people weren't quite ready to use it safely and securely, and that's a problem. Security is always going to be an issue when you involve kids underage and minors. So in terms of video, there's two modes, synchronous and asynchronous. And the synchronous learning, obviously video conferencing like what we're doing right now, is effective to a certain degree. We could do it safely. But it really is not a replacement to what has to go on between the teachers and students in terms of project-based learning and some other more accountable type of student engagement for learning. However, I think what I've seen, I have two kids, 13 and 14, that age. So
Mhm.
my daughter was sharing me with the other day that her teacher recorded a video of her delivering the math online and then delivered that not on YouTube, but a different type of platform that's a little more secure. That
Mhm.
so the kids were looking at on demand the video. And actually,
I
that was
see.
very effective, she thought, because
Mhm.
she could replay the video as many times as she wants, and it would replace really the lecture in the classroom. So I find a delicate balance of asynchronous and synchronous videos will be the right balance at the end. You still need those office hours, where the students could interact together, collaborate together, ask whatever they want from the teachers, flipping the classroom, as we used to call it, right? The flipped classroom
Mhm.
model.
Yeah.
But at the end of
Yeah.
the day, the asynchronous model will eventually win, I think.
Okay. And so is that what you see maybe happening in the fall, since nobody knows exactly what's going to happen? We could end up going back to school and then having an outbreak again, and then, going back online, or some strange combination of the two. What do you see, focus for back to the fall
It's a good
coming?
question. Nobody knows the right answer yet, but I think there's a lot of theories floating around. What I've been hearing is it's a blended world, hybrid school, as we just came up with the name hybrid. Uh, so it will be like 50-50, 50 in person because they want to reduce that school size, and 50 online. What that means that online learning and being able to do synchronous and asynchronous remote learning is going to be here for many, many years to come. It's never going to go away. I think what just happened is a paradigm shift in education. Finally, people are saying, you know what, we should have done this a long time ago. Now we're compelled to do it. Might as well just do it and learn. And I don't think they're going to look back ever to the traditional way of teaching. So my forecast is that in the fall, people are going to be building these integrated virtual learning environment. That means integration of all of these tools is going to be very important, and how you integrate it safely and securely. How do you allow the kids to log in with some sort of a single sign-on platform? How you are able to monitor the performance and the engagement of the students? How do you do online assessment? And whether it's low stakes or high stakes. I heard yesterday ACT now is delivering their high stakes tests online remotely from
Mm.
home. So that's a big shift, big paradigm shift that's never been done before. And I'm hearing other ministries around the world saying we're going to do the same thing for the high school exit exam.
Mhm.
So being able to do online high stakes testing from home is going to be the next big, huge, I think, aha moment that is going to arrive at the end of this year.
Uh-huh. And so you think the online assessment, the kind of hybrid school models are going to probably persist beyond the current crisis. Anything else that you think might persist down the road here?
Yeah, so I think that's just the tip of the arrow. I think the other technologies, like we've been playing around with online gamified education, self-paced learning in the
Hmm.
form of games, interactive games. You're going to start seeing a lot more of that. You're going to start seeing a lot more consumer-oriented self-learning, self-paced learning tools, where the parents are starting to make decisions of what to offer their kids or their students. You're going to start seeing in the high school, people are starting to do their own self-paced diploma seeking online courses from things like Coursera and others, and Udemy and places like that. So it's not just in
Hmm.
college. You're going to start seeing it in high school, even middle school. Kids are to say, we'll get whatever we can get from school, but we need to think about our career, and we're going to start learning on our own pace, much more advanced courses. And some of these course providers who package everything with a degree at the end or some sort of a program award at the end are going to be very popular in schools and
Hmm.
at home and at
Right.
schools.
Right. So it's going to bolster some of those alternative delivery mechanisms for credentials and other sorts of competency based, and
Absolutely,
really
credentials will be big. Yep.
alternatives to the current curriculum approach. Well, finally, I wanted to thank you for being a leader in GG4L in our nonprofit work at IMS Global Learning Consortium. How would you describe the impact of the work of IMS Global right now and going forward as it relates to this?
It's critical, and it's critical in many ways as we move forward in the future. So we all agree this whole remote learning is going to be here to stay. So the integration of all of these applications into a single delivery ecosystem that whether the student or teacher or parents have to log into remotely and safely from anywhere, anytime, it all depends on many things, one of which interoperability. And interoperability needs to be much more advanced than where it used to be in the past, where proprietary APIs come into play, where if I want to integrate something, it may take months, maybe years to finish the integration, versus we really don't have that kind of luxury nowadays. It needs to be plug and play. We need to be able to have the district come in with some sort of an online catalog and pick a few products that they want to deploy, and within days, not weeks, are able to actually create their own ecosystem for whichever course and have it ready to go. We need standards for that. We need standards that are reliable, that work. We need also to look at data privacy and the security of the data. Again, that's I know another initiative you're running at IMS Global. We need to look at how we go beyond just integration. We look at learner records and how we incentivize the learners to be able to actually be motivated to take these courses, to be able to be rewarded for it and accountable for what is achieved, both from an assessment perspective and a diploma perspective. There's a ton of work, and I don't envy you because you've got to herd all the cats in this industry and bring them in one place. But yeah, if I have to think of one company, one organization that does that and has been doing it steadily, no other name other than IMS Global comes to mind.
Well, thanks, Robert. Of course, I agree with everything you just said, and thank you for your insights. And thanks to our viewers for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you back here for more of our series on highly effective digital teaching and learning. This is Rob Abel saying bye for now, and let's keep the learning going.